Thanks for being here. A ton going on. Appreciate you making time. We're full go. Hard to believe it was. We've been outside the last 2 days, which has been really nice because we were not outside last week. But first pitch banquet coming up on the 2nd. So it's upon us. 3 weeks from tomorrow we open. Love our team. Love the guys. Love the makeup. And really excited about our recruiting class. Took some time to put it all together and wanted to announce it once we had everyone locked in. So just a quick second to brag on my staff. My coaching staff has just done an outstanding job. Brandon, Tyler, 2 elite evaluators busted their tail, and then John, our recruiting coordinator, best in the business, and his ability to really guide the effort and put us in the right direction and really stick to the script. When we got here, we had a pretty clear idea of what we thought would be successful, and we've had to take some turns along the way, but for the most part we've stuck to the script, and we did the same thing this year that we did last year. Part of when we got here was we kind of missed the cycle of 23 and 24, those high school classes. And to put it into perspective, the summer of 21 would have been the summer that you're really attacking a 24 class. So it's just such an early process with the high school kids. So, we jumped in, put a team together, and I said this last year, but the good news is we put a good team together. The bad news is we had to replace guys like Cole Elvis and Colin Baumgartner right away, and it's a lot of the same this year. We have 13 seniors we have to replace. So we've been really aggressive in junior college in the portal and aggressive in high school too, but just with the state of college baseball, to be a high school kid, our benchmark has been you got to compete as a freshman, and kind of that mindset and talent level. So that really closes the gap on a high school kid. So I want to take a second to introduce the guys, then happy to take any questions. But 4 high school kids that we're really, really excited about, and 9 JUCO guys. Jeremy Allen's a right-handed pitcher out of Arlington Heights, Illinois. Hersey High School, plays for Wally Brownlee, and then also in the summer plays for Tom Barnard, longtime scout, was with Pittsburgh forever, Hall of Famer, and kind of reminds us of Dom Vagley, a freshman we signed a year ago. Big time strike thrower, slider, 93 strikeouts in 60 innings. I think he's undefeated in his high school career as a pitcher. So he was a guy that we were super excited about. He'll be ready as a freshman, starter profile, but really like the slider and high-end competitor. Xander Schmidt, Wildwood, Missouri. Nick DuPont played for Coach Hill, who was an assistant here before being the head coach at K-State, but hard-nosed kid. The coach is hard-nosed, and then there's some trickle down to his players for sure, and Xander really fits that mold. He reminds us a lot of Ben Hartle, one of our current catchers. Athlete, plays outfield, catches, and he's the 2022 Prep Baseball Report Futures Games MVP. And if you look at the list of guys that have won that, that's when you want to win. So we're really excited about him. Super toolsy and a guy that can do it behind the plate and in the outfield. Another 2-way guy, Blake O'Brien, St. Thomas Aquinas, plays for Rick Sabbath, who of course coached at KU, and then his summer coach Brett Bailey, a great friend of our program with the Royal Scout team. He was the 5A Player of the Year, and he's kind of all everything. Won a state championship in football, was a first-team All-State guy in football, and has done the same in baseball. On the mound, 85 strikeouts in 49 innings, and then he also led the state of Kansas in extra base hits. So a true 2-way guy, and a guy that athletically we're super excited about, but his best years are way ahead of him. Super excited he had a great football season. I was really glad when his football season was over and he was healthy, because he was all everything for him. And then Cal Elvis, Cole's younger brother, catcher, outstanding, very, very similar in terms of who they are as people, both outstanding leaders, men, all that stuff. Different profiles. Cal's probably a little bit more catch and throw than Cole was. Cole probably has a little bit more pop at the plate, but Cole's also 5 years older than him. But Vacaville, California, and Stu Clary's his head coach, and we couldn't be more excited about Cal. We think he's a guy that can come in right away and contribute. Onto our JUCO guys, a fun slate of JUCO guys. Maddox Burkett, who is from Free State High School and then went to Johnson County Community College, so played for Coach Hill at Free State, and then Eric Horner at Johnson County. And Coach Hill is someone that we have incredible respect for. And then Eric Horner and I coached against each other for years when I was in the JUCO ranks. He had 39 punch-outs in 24 innings, pitched in the World Series. Super competitive kid, and he's really excited to be coming back home. He played with a lot of our guys, so it's fun for him. Next guy would be Naun Haro. He's from College of Southern Nevada for Coach Geritano, which is a awesome JUCO program where Bryce Harper played. Great tradition, left-handed pitcher, which we needed to address. We're losing a couple lefties this year, and that was a real focus of ours in the process. Funny story, on his visit, we kind of put the pieces together that he actually grew up with Charlie McCarthy, and I talked to Ken about him afterwards. So he's got KU ties, really clean arm, left-handed starter, which again is important because we've got great starters this year, but a couple seniors in that mix, so we think he's a guy that can compete for one of those spots. Cannon Carr, right-handed pitcher. His parents were smart. Cannon, what a beautiful name for a pitcher. He's at Jefferson College in Missouri. Zach Bones, his head coach, a super well-respected guy in our industry. 74 punch-outs in 56 innings, and I think that's, the more and more we do this, you look at the indicators of success at the next level, and it's all about winning the strike zone, which seems really simple, but the guys that strike people out, just limit the ability of, or the opportunity, I guess, of putting the ball in play and all the things that come with that. So 74 punches in 56 innings, really good curveball, throws a slider, but they're two different pitches, which is kind of rare. He's the preseason pitcher of the year in that conference. And again, the type of makeup guy that fits in with who we have. Another lefty, Porter Kahn from Lincoln Land Community College, Ron Riggle, longtime coach there. Again, I think one of the things you'll find with our JUCO guys is just the type of programs they come from, compete in the World Series, winning programs and winning coaches. And Porter certainly fits that. 73 strikeouts in 46 innings. I saw him twice this fall and was super impressed with his swing and miss in the strike zone. Getting the guy to chase the breaking ball is great, but when you can get swing and miss on the fastball in the zone, that's kind of a big deal, and Porter did that a bunch when I got to see him. So excited about him. Brian Hallam, right-handed pitcher from Dodge City Community College. He's a Texas kid. Brett Doe is the head coach at Dodge City, and a guy actually coached when he was a player. He played at Baylor and was a really tough, gritty player, and has done a really good job at each of his stops as a coach. And Brian's a two-way guy at Dodge City. I think he's probably a pitcher only for us. He's a good hitter, and he brings that mentality to the mound, which is great. But he's got a big time upside on the mound, and I think the hit piece is there, but I think he's got a chance to be a huge velocity guy, a really good breaking ball, and again a ride fastball, and a real downhill breaking ball. So we're excited about him. It had great numbers last year, a bunch of strikeouts. An exciting one out of Heartland Community College, TJ Williams. Heartland is where Ben Hartle and Reese Dutton are both from, and they're the defending national champions. And TJ, I went back and looked, but I'm fairly certain he's the fastest guy I've ever recruited. I mean, he's track fast, like state champion in Wisconsin track fast, and shortstop, second base, center field, kind of a jack of all trades. I think he'll stay at short in college, but it's jump out. It's sub 4 down the line on a swing, which, to put into perspective, 4.1 would be big league average from the left side, 4.3 big league average from the right side. This guy's routinely sub 4. So elite speed, big time defender, and really moves the ball. Like, you look at his numbers, hit 421, a bunch of stolen bases, and did some stuff this fall that was really impressive with the run tool, which is something we need. That's something we need to upgrade in. And then 3 more, all from the same place, all from Western Oklahoma State College. Played for a guy by the name of Kurt Russell, who my first year at Des Moines Area Community College was Kurt's first year at Western, and we faced off in the Junior College World Series and had unbelievable battles against each other for the next 5 years. And a great friend and truly one of the top coaches in all of college baseball at any level. And he hired a guy by the name of Ryan Turner, who's the grandson of a legendary scout in the state of Texas, Gerald Turner, who passed away a couple years ago, but 2 elite coaches. And so we're getting 3 guys from them that we feel are big time impact, immediate, middle of the order type guys. Derek Serta, 18 home runs, 30 stolen bases, enormous arm in the outfield. Pride profiles in right field, hit tool, hit 404 last year, really special player. And then Angel Cano, a kid who actually went to high school, he's from Columbia, went to high school in Wichita, and 21 doubles, 22 home runs last year at Western. Actually reminds us quite a bit of Caleb Upshaw, if you guys remember him from the Jayhawks a few years back, but super physical, first base, outfield, and again, something we need. Like you look at, Jansen Reeder, John Nett, Lenny Ashby, like those are 3 really physical bats that we're losing after this year. So those 2 are huge. And then last one out of Western, Daryl Osoria, infielder, left side guy, shortstop, third baseman, can play second, but again has a big arm, so probably more profiles on the left side. 24 doubles and 18 home runs last year. Our concern with a lot of these guys is the draft. That's something that's so unique to our sport. And the draft is in July, so oftentimes you have guys moving on campus and then the draft a week later. So, we do have some draft concerns with these guys, but also great problem to have. And some draft concerns with our current roster, 13 seniors to replace, and then, a number of juniors and draft eligible sophomores that, so we're gonna have to add. We're certainly not done, but we feel really good about our class.
As you continue to get in better position with future high school recruiting classes, do you think you'll still hit the JUCO ranks the way you are, or do you think that'll change over time?
I think we'll always go best available, and I think we're seeing this is kind of at least in the baseball cycle, this is kind of the last year of that COVID, the 2020 year that everyone got back. This is kind of the last year that's affecting the eligibility of those super old guys. So we were, when we got here, we engaged as quickly as we could with the 23s, 24s, and then felt like we had kind of a full shot at the 25. So yes, the answer is, I don't think we could be more engaged on with JUCO or portal or high school, but I think we'll always stay super tied to the JUCO side because, honestly, we all come out of it. My whole staff has JUCO blood, and you just get an older guy, and with 600 and 700 at bats under his belt, it's a good thing to have.
Have your priorities just with your program that you have now changed year 2 compared to year 1? Maybe things that you thought weren't important and are now more important, or things that you thought were important and now are less so?
Yeah, I think makeup, we knew the makeup of the player, the type of human being we had, the type of competitor, we knew how important that would be, and that hasn't changed. That's just been reemphasized over and over. We knew pitching depth was the name of the game, and so you look at us last year on Fridays, we were great. We were 5-3 on Fridays in the Big 12, really gave 2 of those away. We make a play against TCU and a play against K-State. We're 7-1 on Fridays, and we scored 10 runs on Friday night against Oklahoma State. It was 15-10. Not that one sticks in the back of my head at all, but when we had the depth with Baumgartner and Trumper and able to stack those guys, we were really good with a formidable lineup. So I don't think the priorities have changed. It's come back to makeup, competitiveness, and depth on the mound. I think those things have been really reiterated. And then I think my patience has probably been the thing that's probably changed, because when you take it, you've got this long runway that you build, and when you get in it, you feel like it has to be done the next day. So thankfully, I have great people around me to remind me that we're in a build and it takes time. I think more of the long answer to, I think the focus has stayed the same, the important things have stayed the same, they've just been reiterated.
On a similar note, how different has it felt going through the whole off-season cycle a second time around with players who are already accustomed to your system and have a knowledge of what the season's going to be like and all that?
Yeah, awesome, just awesome. The thing I am most proud of from last year is we stuck together from day one to the last pitch. Like, we're down whatever in our last game, and there was full belief that we were going to score. I mean, we were down, and there was full belief that we were going to come back and win that thing. So the culture piece, the belief, the togetherness, that thing has been really, really special. And to not have to start over with that, there's certainly a reintroduction in accountability and a re-engagement in that, but having the guys that have been through it kind of bring the younger guys up and show them how we do certain things has been, I feel like we started at step 50 rather than step 0.
And then as he keeps getting on as a figure, I would ask about it just with Cody Sojanak. How do you think that he can continue to elevate his game this year after such a successful freshman season?
Yeah, Cody is a high-end hitter. You talk about hit tool, and really in baseball at the professional level, it's hit for power, it's run, it's defend, and it's throw. And if you look at his hit tool, it's really high. If you look at his throw tool, it's really high. He doesn't profile in the center field, where he has to be a world-class runner. So the two things you really look at with him are, his power, in terms of things he needs to improve on. You look at his power, and then his defense. He's going to catch in pro ball. There's no question that that's his best profile. And for us, he has to do a little bit of everything. So, for Cody, I think the biggest challenge is going to be, as a freshman, there's a beauty and simplicity to what you're doing. You're just out there playing baseball, and you don't sneak up on anyone when you're the returning Big 12 freshman of the year. So I think just getting used to probably having the target on him a little bit more, and then realizing, hey, in order to play in the big leagues, he's going to have to continue to drive the ball and continue to get better as a defender. And but Cody's greatest skill is his ability to slow the game down and put together an at-bat. And that tool takes you a long way.
I wanted to follow on that a little bit, because obviously you know what you have or are going to get from Cody. Of that group that you have for the second time and you feel great about step 50 with them, are there guys, 1 or 2 or 3, that jump out as, okay, these are the ones that are most likely to take that next step or breakthrough or whatever you want to call it?
Sure. Jake English had an awesome fall, and I thought Coach Hancock's done an amazing job with him offensively. I thought he was the best catcher in the Big 12 last year defensively, and I don't think there'd be a whole lot of argument with that. But offensively, I think he's taken a jump. Jansen Reeder, all Big 12 performer, he came back even more physical. He looks outstanding, and his approach at the plate has been killer since day one of the fall, and he's carried that into the spring. Collier Cranford, Collier had a rough year because he was rolling, and then he got hurt, and then we kind of had to force him. Like, once he was cleared, it was like you kind of want to give a guy an at bat here and there to get him back, but we were at a spot with Cranford down and Klein down where it was like, Collier, by the way, you're playing for the next 6 weeks. And so if you look at his year and you take out the middle around the injury, he had a great year. He took a jump this fall, looks great. Michael Brooks, the beginning of his year last year, really scuffled and really had a turning point where he became a really, really good player. And so, I think they all got better. Jans had a really rough fall at the beginning, and then you look at him at the end, and it's like, well, he's back to Chase Jans. So the exciting thing for me, Matt, is that they're all those returners came back, but they didn't come back with like a cool, it's I'm just ready to go. They came back with a chip of like, hey, that was awesome, we did a lot, but I need to improve and we need to be better.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is there a common denominator? That's probably it, right?
Yeah.
With those guys.
It's-
Yeah.
We have very little drama. We have a selfless group, and they work, and there's a little bit of, there's a chip. I joked the other day with my staff, I said, we're pretty balanced because we got a bunch of guys with chips on both shoulders, so it kind of balances them out. So it's been great, yeah, common denominator, I think there are a bunch of them.
And then, what does your leadership look like? I'm sure it's a bunch of those names you just mentioned, but are you pretty pleased with the leaders that you have and what they offer with the JUCO guys in that class and all that stuff?
It's different in that Cole is gone, and Cole Elvis, you guys heard me say it a million times last year, he's the best leader I've ever coached. So it's different, but I think it's, and we're still in the process of figuring that out. I think some guys are still trying to find their voice and trying to find their spots to be comfortable. And we haven't faced much adversity yet either. And I think a lot of that leadership comes out of the adversity that you face. And we talk about it every day, like if we get through the first inning of game one without adversity, it would be amazing. But it's a guaranteed that it comes inning two then. So, we'll hit something early on that'll test us, and I think that's when you see the guys that really want to lead.
How did a top 10 transfer class that you brought in for this season affect maybe your expectations for year two with this group?
Yeah, I think, and Jordan, I'm terrible at this, of thinking into the future of the expectations are so high, I think, inside my brain and inside my staff's brain that it doesn't really change. My incredible wife, Kelly, last year said something like, after a game I was despondent. She's like, what's up? And I'm like, well, we got beat. She's like, well, surely you knew you were gonna lose a game this year. I'm like, I did not know that. Like, I did not really process that until it happened. But I think that the transfer class, more than anything, it validated that Kansas is awesome, that this place has so much to offer, that when you look at the full student athlete experience and the full academic experience and the full social experience and where parents want to send their kids and that you go any part of this country and the Jayhawk is recognized, I think it just stamped that we can get in. If you look at the circles, you look at that, and again, recruiting rankings, let's look at it in 5 years and see how it panned out. But if you look at the rest of the top 10, it's the SEC and us. So I think it showed like, hey, we can swim in some really good waters and get guys because of what we're trying to do. And I think with the authenticity that we recruit these guys to say, hey, this is, Jordan, you've heard me say this 1,000 times, this is where we were, this is where we are, this is where we're going, and this is how you fit in. And I think finding the like-minded guys that care about the same things has been the key. But I think all it did was validate, like, we can do what we thought we could do here.
Coach, your vision has been strong since you came here, and Travis has been the same way in terms of hiring new coaches, you being one of them, Coach Leipold, see how the turnaround of the program. Has your vision only gotten stronger in terms of what you were able to do last year, this year, the number one, obviously, great recruiting class for JUCO, so how much stronger is that vision for yourself just to continue to build this program?
Yeah, I wanted this job really bad because of all the things that I know are true and now have just become more and more true as I've been here. So nothing surprised me because of Travis's leadership. My day-to-day interaction with Sean Lester, my sport administrator, you're talking about two people there that couldn't possibly be more supportive of a sport. And I really thought all the things that are happening are things that I really kind of knew about Kansas. So I don't think the vision has changed. It's been cool to be like, no, this really is as awesome as I thought it was going to be. Now we have a long way to go, and again, the recruiting class, now, we need to go win games now, like recruiting classes are great, but they don't let you start with 20 wins because you have a good class. So we gotta put it together and play well, but yeah, nothing has really surprised me. There have been a lot of positive things where I walk away going, man, that's even better than I thought. But holistically, big picture wise, you know, the full experience it's been incredible.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.